agenda for tonight. Sally, are you there?
Yeah,
Did you get any correspondence about the Curtisville Bridge?
I got something from Alan Wilkin.
Drainage pipe?
It's a while ago. Let me see if I can find it.
No, I think this was today.
Oh, today? No, nothing today.
All right, I'll deal with that after.
Okay.
Jackson, you still here?
I'm here.
I did get something from Tom Lewis at the Housatonic Railroad. I'm not quite sure. He wants to continue anyway to May.
That has to do with the spraying?
Yes.
All right, that's fine. Jackson, you wanted to talk about something tonight.
Yes, I did. I just had two quick things for you. The first being a minor plan revision for the commission to consider at 86 Interlaken. The applicant is Matthew Winter. I could share my screen quickly just to show you this minor revision that we're hoping you could accept into the order of conditions.
Go for it.
All right. Are you all able to see that?
Yeah.
So essentially, at this point, the new house has been built under the current order of conditions, and most of the work is complete. And they're experiencing some seepage from the at the toe of this very steep slope of ledge here. It's just groundwater flow coming out of the existing ledge there. So what they're proposing, just to try to mitigate some of that water pooling at the toe of the slope, is to introduce a French drain along the toe of the slope to collect some of that water, as well as 2 yard drains located here and here. And those would collect that water seeping out from the toe of this slope, and to redirect that to this existing artificial pond, which has been there for quite a long time. So we feel that'd be the best place to redirect this water, and that would go through this broad grass swale here, and drain directly into that artificial pond. So that won't change any of the proposed grading. That'll all be below existing grade. So they're just hoping to make that little minor plan revision under the order of conditions.
What
Jackson,
kind
is
of equipment? Oh, go ahead.
the size of that pond large enough to take the extra flow?
I do believe so. Maybe the applicant, Matt Winter, is on tonight. Maybe he could speak to that a little bit. I don't know about the full capacity of the pond, but in my experience, when I've seen it on site, there's been plenty of room for some extra water.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer or an expert, but the pond is nowhere near full at this point. And I've never seen it full, even after some pretty torrential rain. I don't know the origin of the pond. I'm sure Don Dino built it years ago as a catchment area, but somehow the water is now pooling right below that ledge, and it just makes a gigantic mud pit. And so Mark Levasseur's best estimate is that by draining it into the artificial pond, which can absorb it, we would dry that out and not allow seepage or slush going into the lake or any more erosion. It would just redirect it.
Exactly.
What kind of equipment would you use?
There's no equipment. It's all hand done. At this point, I mean, 90% of this, 99% is done. all the landscaping's in, and so they can't bring heavy equipment in at this point, so it will all be hand dug.
Thank you.
So yeah, we were just hoping this could be included as a minor plan revision that the commission could vote to accept in their current order of conditions rather than submitting a request for amendment of order of conditions.
It sounds doable, but I don't think we can't do it tonight.
Understood.
Would it be all right if I did a drive-by and just looked at that? Then I'll give a recommendation.
Of course, you're welcome to come anytime you'd like.
Will I be able to determine the location and direction of, yeah, I should be able to.
Well, if not, I'm happy to, if you tell me when you're going to be here, I'm happy to meet you. I know Adam Weinberg from Second Nature Gardens, who will be doing the work, will be on site all day tomorrow and Thursday doing some additional planting. So if you wanted to meet with him or me, that would be fine.
All right, I can do a drive-by tomorrow. If he's there, he can answer any questions I have.
Okay, he will definitely be here tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you, Ron.
Probably mid to late morning.
Okay, I will let him know, and I'll be here as well. Thank you,
All
Ron.
right. Okay. Jackson, do you have anything else on from tonight here?
We have the RDA for the coughs at 46 Lake Drive, but I understand you can't act on that tonight. So the only other thing I wanted to check with you about was the enforcement order for 3 LTD on 3 Ice Glen Road, and just see if there's anything else you need from Foresight to facilitate the issuance of that enforcement order.
I think we're good. We got the language on the,
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I just wanted to check in about that. That's all for me.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Good night. All right, that's informal. Bernard Hahn, no. Graylock, no. Bethany Woods, you here?
that's Jackson.
Yep.
That was Jackson too.
I'm here if you need to go over anything with it, but I believe last meeting you all voted to issue an order of conditions.
All right.
And it's in the works.
Yep. So if there's anything else you need for that, just let me know and I'll get it to you.
All right.
We have Steve Mack on for 20 Mackinac Shores.
All right. Steve,
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can. Talk to us.
Yeah, so we staked out the shoreline that was delineated before the project was approved. And the project is proceeding. All the giant boulders that were put there last fall have been moved. The shoreline is being rebuilt. I have a picture. I guess there's some debate over where the actual shoreline used to be, but we have it surveyed, we have it delineated. We have on our plan the low water mark from when the pond had been drawn down previously and several years ago. And we also have the current water line that it was built to and that the stakes are in the ground for. And I can pull that plan up if it would be helpful to take a look at it. I'm not sure.
What I would like is a dimension from the mark on the Norway maple. It would be on the right as you look to the west.
Yeah, so I submitted to the board our dimensions last fall. Let me see if I can find that. I can share that. But we literally staked it out by survey, which is even more accurate than this scaling.
Yeah, I've been there recently.
Yeah. So if you, can I share can I show you that? Here, let me pull
Sure.
it up. I can find it. Let's see. I don't know.
Sally, can we find that original paperwork? Did we find it?
I found it here. So
I have
can you-
it.
Can you
All
see
right.
this? Can you see this sketch that we submitted?
Yep.
This was
Yes,
submitted last fall, and it was just a tape measure sketch that we did last fall, and it's what the stakes in the field are more accurate, but this was the old submission that we gave in the fall before we had a chance to get our surveyors out there. And then if you can see it, we have an arrowhead that shows edge of lake. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving around or not. but
Yes, we
edge of
can.
lake, that was November 27th in 2017. That was when the pond used to be drawn down. And then we delineated the high water mark along the riprap, which was done per the Wetlands Protection Act regulations. And that's what the black line that sort of runs right along the property line is. And that is what we stayed uphill of for the entire project based on what was physically staked out. And
Ron and I went down and took a look at it, so did John. And I have to say that to my eye, it looked to me like the stakes were at the low water, and particularly if those stakes were put in November 27th, it would have been during drawdown. Because the shoreline goes out considerably farther than the shoreline on either side, on either piece of property. And one of the neighbors provided us with some photos that would also lead me to believe that it wasn't where it was.
Well, I mean, I have some photos too that I can show you where we're in disagreement because we staked out the high water line. That's what the stakes are. We didn't stake it out in November 27th. That was years ago. We staked out the high water line just a couple weeks ago. If you can see where my hand, where the cursor is here, the southerly property line shore comes way in, like it was always like that. And then I will pull up another drawing here. You know, and I know that we can start throwing photos around, but I have the data. I don't know how else to convince anyone that, like, I literally have the data, mathematical data, explaining it all.
Jackson, what was the date? What year was that the first measurements?
The first set of measurements that I just sent to you that had the sort of reddish dimensions was last fall. And then we restaked it out this just a couple weeks ago. So this picture is pre-construction, and you can see this is jutting out into the lake quite a bit. This is the old dock, deck, etc. And it was just all junk, and all this has just been replaced with taking all the junk out and put in new. I mean, it's not, it jutted out. There's no, like, we have the data that shows it jutted out.
If you stood in that same location right now and took a picture in the same direction, would you see that 55-gallon barrel that's on the side of the property?
That 55-gallon barrel is like over here where my hand is.
Is that the exact is that it, the roundish?
I mean, I think so. I could get more stakeout information for you, I guess. But that's my interpretation of how this lays out. And it does jut out, and it juts out on the south end. You can actually see the existing rock jutting out that was left in place. And on the north end, this jutted out right here where you can see my cursor. It's just there. And that when we delineated it.
All right, if that's the barrel, and the barrel is still there,
I know, yeah. I mean,
Barrel is still there.
right, that's just off the property.
so if we take a measurement to that barrel, we should be able to estimate where that farthest cinder block sits in the water.
We can. I mean, the photo's not to scale, but I think we have this piece of wood where my cursor is here that we surveyed a couple of years ago. We have that physically on our plan. And you can see when you look at our plan, it lines up almost perfectly. There's this section of vegetation between the wood and the top of the rock. And then the high water line is like right in through here that we surveyed. And then it continues down. Like it really, I'm just trying to give the facts. Like it all lines up really well.
Put your cursor on where you just had the high water mark.
I think it's sort of right through here. And this stuff was all removed out of it's below the watermark, but we did say to remove all that. Like they wanted to get all the junk out. So like the rock is actually the edge of the lake right now. We've actually pulled back a little bit than what it was previously, which I know we're arguing right now that it was not in fact as far out, but actually in fact we've pulled it closer to the house than it used to be because we took the junk out of the lake.
I'm just looking at, I know it's hard to tell from a photo.
I know.
Hey, Steve, can you zoom in at the center?
I'm sorry, were you trying to zoom in?
At the center at the water line.
Like that?
Yeah, but down north a little bit. I mean, it just looks to me like the water goes up to that cinder block in the center. You can see the line. I don't know. I'm just saying. You can see the discoloration at the bottom of the cinder.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying the high water mark that we delineated is right through this cinder block where my cursor is, roughly. On a photo,
Okay.
It's hard to say, but in our work is on this side of that cinder block, and we've removed all this junk out of the lake. So that's what I'm saying. All this junk, in fact, was out further in the lake before. We've taken it all out, trying to clean it up. And we staked out, our stakes are roughly, again on a photo, along the line where this cinder block is, where my cursor is.
Yeah.
Ron, it's Jamie. Can I ask a question?
Sure, feel free.
Thank you. So when the project back when it was applied for, the property was applied for, wasn't there survey measurements either with the select board or the planning board or us? Like, wouldn't there be actual surveyable numbers so it would be pretty easy to measure?
There is, that's what I'm saying. We have a survey plan. That's what we use to set those stakes. And that's what was submitted and approved by the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
I'll pull that plan up.
Okay. And then the other thing is cinder blocks are not natural. So it is like helpful to take them out, whoever put them there. So they're not a part of the lake. So thank you for taking them out. But I don't think that was the question.
Right, so this was the approved plan that everything has been surveyed. So we have the high water line, which is running right through here. We show that we're removing all the existing rock and debris along the shoreline and rebuilding it. We have a detail for that. And then this shows, I've just been thinking about this a lot since I've gotten this email. Like this project, I do think, although I feel like there's disagreement, but we come into the Conservation Commission a lot, and our clients are always trying to keep as much lawn as they can right to the lake. They're trying to eliminate as many trees and shrubs as they can. Like this project this was all just junk lawn and garbage, is putting all that back in just the way the commission wants it on all of our projects. Like, I don't know what else we would actually do. Like, this is what I would propose if you asked me, what can we do to make this site nicer? Like, we're restoring the 35-foot. There was nothing but invasive and junk in here before, and we're restoring all of that back to native habitat.
Jackson, we can't make a decision tonight. I'm gonna stop back there. Have they planted the trees and stuff yet?
They planted 2 trees. They planted a tree here and a tree here.
Birch
They've got
trees?
all the birch trees, yep. They've got all of the planting beds in here, and where the trees are, they're going to be planting as well. Like, this is all going to be planted. And they've started this stone stepway that we show up. And that's about where they've stopped. They've removed all the construction stabilization matting that we had that I know we discussed about last fall. That's now that this is all stabilized and constructed, that's been removed, and the whole site's been restored. It just needs a lot of vegetation, which is coming.
The erosion control is all in place?
Yep. Yeah, I stopped there today to make sure everything was stable, and it appeared to be stable.
All right. We can't take a vote on this tonight, but I assure
Can
you,
the abutters say something at some point?
Pardon?
Can the abutters speak at some point?
Sure. Welcome to the meeting. Speak up.
So this is Tom Fine, and we're the northern abutters.
Yes, sir.
I guess one issue is we've lived there for 15 years. That piece of property never stuck out that far into the lake. The stakes that they put into the lake a couple of weeks ago are way below the high water line. We have pictures, we'll show you. I guess my issue with this is that they have taken a kind of natural lakefront, they've ripped it up, and they've created an artificial man-made lakefront that seems to go against everything the Conservation Commission would stand for. So I guess my questions are, if this is in compliance with the orders of condition, how did that happen? How did you allow this to happen? And if it isn't in compliance, what are you going to do about it?
And why does this line?
And why does this line, and the trees they planted are right up against the lakefront. They look like potted plants against the lake.
I didn't
This is
notice
completely
that.
different than what this property looked like.
There's some things to be said about the improvement of the removal of the trash that was
Right.
parked along the lakefront. But we're having the same issue that you're having about high water mark, low water
I mean,
mark.
he's extended his property by 3 or 4 feet into the lake. I would swear on my mother's grave by that.
And you have photos originally of when it started?
Yes,
We've
we
seen
have
them.
photos of the
Yeah.
last 15 years of what it looked like.
Yep, we've seen them.
Sure.
That's why we haven't approved anything yet.
Yeah. But he keeps building.
He can start tearing out too if we tell him to.
Mhm.
He's jumped the gun as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that he cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
Wow.
I can't.
I don't believe it. He told us he was going to clean up the lakefront, clear out some of the riffraff, and he went and just completely changed it. And I don't know what we can do about it now because it's like done.
Well, I'm going in tomorrow, the next day with my tape measure. And from that mark on that Norway maple, which I read off the first plans, was 16.5 feet to the high water mark, and I'll see where that comes in relation to that 55-gallon barrel there.
Yeah. Which is on our property. We were told we couldn't remove it because we couldn't touch the lakefront while we redid our property.
All right, that's what we get paid the big bucks for.
Good luck.
Thank you all.
And thank you all for trying to deal with this.
We will look at it some more. And we have feelers out. We actually have requests out to see if there are any aerial views of the lake, that side of the lake, so we can come up with a determination.
Yeah, Google Maps shows some, and the shoreline seemed to be along the same side as ours. You know, doesn't stick out anymore.
All right. We will coordinate all this information and make a determination.
So in the meanwhile, is he going to keep doing what he's doing?
If he wants to, he can. If we tell him to tear it out, it'd just be twice as expensive.
Mhm.
Didn't actually have an okay to go ahead with this, but then again, we aren't the police, so as much as we like to be at times. Okay, thank you both. Unfortunately, we can't make a ruling today. We don't actually have a viable meeting, so.
Can I just make a comment? There's nothing in front of the board right now. We have an order of conditions. This plan is what was approved. And the project's being built per the approved plans. So I don't know. I mean, it's surprising to me to hear planting trees along the shoreline is not appropriate. It's just a lot of surprising conversation. You know, personalities aside, I'm not, the shoreline was a mess and our client is trying to clean it up.
Steve, I'm in agreement with that. I'm just in agreement where the shoreline, or unsure where the shoreline ended up.
Right. I do, if you need any more data on that, I can get it to you. We have all the survey data. We have, you know, that was delineated and established.
Yeah, I did notice that there was, on each edge of the property, there were still some large rocks, but we'll see where they sit in relations to the high water mark. And it did strike me as those stakes were that supposedly delineate the high water mark were quite a ways from what I would have considered the original shoreline, but I'm
Yeah, I mean,
measure.
if you go up and down the shorefront here, there's quite a few properties that jut out in a similar fashion. 2 or 3 up from here also jut out, and you can see that the property to the south is very clear that it jutted out. It just so happened on the north that the jut out was on this property, so that was taken out. And when we pulled it all up, it's all boulders in there and everything. It's like it was filled in, who knows, 50 or 75 years ago. This whole area was like rubble. In our opinion, it was just filled in over the years.
We've noticed that a lot of properties around the lake seem to have square shorelines, which are very hard to comprehend on a natural lake.
It is, yeah. So, and like I said, just a couple lots north of here, it's just like that.
Yeah. That's why we have questions. All right, we will get back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Is anybody here from Berkshire Engineering? No? So 42 East Street. Jackson's gone.
Yep.
6 Brookside Lane. Hardwood.
He left.
All right. Mackinac Terrace Association. Stairs and railings. We need to
That's
have
me.
we need to have some sort of site visit for that. We can set that up tonight.
I'm here till the end of the week. This is Louis Corman, and I'm the current president of the Mackinac Terrace Association. Yeah, it's I'm here till Saturday or Friday, and I think Matt, who's also working with us, is one of the members of the committee that's proposing to develop to repair the stairs, essentially. So we'd be happy to arrange to show you the issues.
We've kind of seen it from a short distance, but do you have drawings and plans on what you?
I have a little bit I can share with you. I mean, I even have a statement because this is not something that I'm used to doing. So I was going to read you this whole thing, but I'm happy to skip that in the issues of time. But I can show you sort of what that looks like if you permit me to share the screen.
Please do.
Okay, so let's see. So if you can see this, this is the original drawing from a project that was done in 2007, which was the creation of a bulkhead, and here's the docks for the members of the Terrace Association that live off the lake. These are the stairs. They go from here to here, and then there's a set of stairs which is not going to be modified. I'm going to show you a picture. Let's see if I can figure out how to show you a picture of the stairs so you get a sense of what the problem is. And these stairs were installed a long time ago, probably 20 or 30 years, and they're deteriorating. And when the members of the Mackinac Terrace Association were a lot younger, there's more difficulty going down these stairs. There's no platform after 4 or 5 stairs. These are a little too far. The railing's a little high. And all we want to do is just take this out and just replace it, essentially. No other modifications will be made.
Replace it with what?
I think, Matt, we put that in the proposal specifically, what the contractor, one of the contractors is proposing. I would have to pull that up and I can read it to you, but it's, hold on a minute.
Lou, I can also help here.
Yeah,
they would be the exact same size into the exact same space, but instead of being these timber with these concrete tiles in the middle, they would be solid precast concrete, like uniblock type stairs that would just go in and be a little more appropriately sized and a little more durable. And sized by
Are there still wide steps like that, or are they individual stair type steps all the way to the top?
They would be individual blocks that would be stacked on top of each other all the way to the top. And they just be, these current stairs are spaced about 30 inches apart. So it's very difficult to walk up and down. And they're also, some of the ground underneath them has washed out over the years. And so they pitch towards the lake a little bit too. So it's very unsafe to walk up and down. And so all we're looking to do is just put them back level and have them just spaced out so that it's a more normal cadence to walk up and down the stairs.
Here's what we would like. Whoever your final decision on the repair of these, whoever that may be, we would like a narrative and maybe a drawing of what it is you're going to put back, how you're going to build it. Are you going to tear the others out, add gravel, add individual stairs, railings on posts? What are you gonna do for erosion control while you have this torn apart?
Mhm.
You know, if you only get part of the stairway done on a Friday, what's it gonna do over the weekend? That type of thing, you know? It can't just be left stripped for
Yeah,
days on end.
I think we were proposing to put in bales and a silt fence during the construction period. So we were going to take all the precautions that were appropriate and that
Yeah.
you suggested in order to do this. There's a little bit of urgency, again, because many of our members are just clearly having trouble negotiating, and trying to walk down that hill is even more dangerous than trying to walk down those stairs. And as
So-
Matt pointed out, they do pitch a little bit.
And what kind of equipment will you have on that hill?
So we'll remove the stairs by hand. And then they'll bring in, I'm assuming one of those small diggers to dig out the remnants of the fill that's there today. And all of that would be disposed off site properly. And then we would bring in just new gravel to put underneath those stairs. Then they would set them, pack and set them in place.
And will it be pervious or non-pervious surfaces?
They would be non-pervious. They'd be these unilock paver type stairs. These are made with anti-slip texture to the concrete, and they're more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, obviously, for this area.
I think one of the things that we are concerned about, I understand that this has been there for a long time, but as time goes on, I was looking at your picture, it looks as though there's some erosion along the side. And I understood that you were saying that some people are walking down the bank, which is not a good thing, because it will, corrupt the grass and it's just a wide open space right now, which lends itself to a lot of potential erosion.
There's the bottom of this, which I can show you, and I don't know the technical term. There's a flat space, so it doesn't erode into the lake at all. That green area, that open space, that's blocked. Again, I can show it to you.
Can we see it? I'm wondering if there's any native plantings that can go at the bottom of that hill.
It's not. Yeah, if you look at this, and again, we can, if you come by, we'd be happy to show you. There's a bulkhead here. So the bottom of this ends in a bulkhead. It doesn't, there's no erosion into the lake here. This basically ends right here, which is where the steps, essentially where the steps end. So it's a very small area, as you can see, as total in area as a total part of the open space. And so it's this area that just needs to be replaced and made a little bit safer with Matt. It was 3 or 4 steps and then a little bit of a platform, right?
That's right. Yes.
Is the width going to be the same?
Yes.
Exactly the same.
I was looking at your square footage on the dock, which says it's 598 square feet.
Yeah, you're not asking an expert.
It's probably grandfathered at this time, but the dock bylaw in town is 200 square feet.
I plead ignorance.
We can look at that when we do a site visit. But in your application here, I would like to see verbiage is how you're gonna construct this. Excavator starting at the top, starting at the bottom, removal, disposal.
Erosion.
Erosion controls, thank you. what sort of erosion to the side, maybe the top too. We don't want to create a waterfall going down those steps. Would be nice to look at probably, but where it starts at the road or landing or whatever it is at the very top of the hill, some thought should be put into that so it doesn't become a water course going down to the lake. Maybe you need large trap rock on the side of these stairs of some dimension to keep it from eroding down the stairway as water comes down them. Because if they're impervious, you put a gallon of water on the top step and it's going to be a gallon of water coming off the bottom step. If you put a gallon of water on every one of those steps, you're going to have a lot of water on the bottom. So some sort of erosion control on a side, both sides, that type of thought would be good.
This is during the construction or even during the, even after the construction.
Could be final construction. All right, there's a lot of the roadways where there's erosion problems. You may have noticed they have large rock in the ditch.
Yep.
You may need something like that to hold everything in place. You don't want the banking to start to slide from runoff from these stairs. I don't know if the stairs that are there now are impervious or pervious. I don't know.
It looks like they're pervious.
They're
to some
pervious.
degree.
And I think that, yeah, and I think that is helpful in the sense that it, but what it's done is it's created this imbalance and sloping, and it's a little bit wider. So
they've settled.
Yeah, they've been there for a long time. We're really just trying to figure out how to make them
When do we
safe.
want to do a site visit? Do we want to do Friday so we can post it?
Yes.
I won't be able to, I'm out of town on Friday, but can I do a drive-by and see it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So if you just go to the bottom of Mackinac Terrace, you can see the space. It's pretty obvious.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So I think a drawing schematic verbiage would be helpful so that what you're proposing to build, we can come back and say, oh, this is what they built and this is correct. Okay.
No, we appreciate your guidance. As you might imagine, we're trying to avoid the expense of elaborate engineering drawings to do the repair, but we appreciate your assistance in that.
I don't know as you need engineering so much as you want to tell us exactly what you think the outcome of this is going to be.
Yeah.
Dimensions. I don't even care if it's a number of steps. Just materials used and how you're going to use them and erosion controls and that type of thing, step by step. And when it's finished, you're finished.
So the outline would be essentially what the process is for erosion control, the process for removing the steps, what equipment, and then what the replacement would look like.
That'll be fine.
Ron, can we condition that the commission sees the erosion controls prior to the start of work, just so we can see what's there?
Yeah, right after the removal of the existing stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how fast it will go, but at least a drawing of where the erosion controls could be, and then and a start date, and we can swing in and take a look at it.
Great, thank you.
And we would provide that. We would try to get that to you by the next meeting in terms of the details.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you might suggest that would be helpful for us to do this, since obviously this is not it's a community property, so.
Put the name of your contractor on that.
Got
when
it.
you decide who that is.
I still, when we go to do the site visit, I still would like to see maybe some plantings along the shore, along the slope. But not seeing the,
Well,
not
there
seeing
are,
it.
yeah, I mean, on the slope, there are
Yeah.
no plantings, but to the right and the
Right.
left there are. To
It'd
the
be
right
nice.
of the stairs and then along the left. But yeah, I
A
mean,
few
you're welcome
native-
to come by.
A few native shrubs on the slope would be
Yeah.
an improvement.
Again, the part of the problem is that people are not using the stairs. So if we put those shrubs in, they may impede.
That's the idea, though.
Yeah, it would keep
Yeah.
people off that slope.
That's what the stairs are gonna be for, so they do use the stairs.
Yeah.
All right, 10 a.m. Friday.
10 a.m. Friday. I will meet you there.
Is that all right with members?
Yes.
Those of us that can? Uh-oh. What happened?
And can we get some idea about the docks and when they were put in?
I don't have that. Unfortunately, I don't have that information. I wasn't part of the original ownership group, so I don't know too much about I mean, the docks are there, but they're not in place now. Obviously, they've been taken up. So
But
I don't
agree
know
with-
much of those details.
I agree with Sally. There should be a record somewhere of when they were installed, no?
You're asking me?
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
sure
there are
there is a
few-
record. I'm sure there's a record, but I don't know who has it. There's not a, it's not, I think it derives from the community. So I think this plan was submitted, but I'm not sure what the original one was. I
It would be
wasn't a
good
member
to
of the community.
know, it would be good to know when those docks were installed, because if they were installed after the dock bylaw, then it's in violation. And if it's not, then it's grandfathered.
I'll try to find out for you.
Thank you.
I'm having a little technical problem at the moment, but
Having
People-
major technical problems.
can people still see me?
Yes.
I got nobody but some young lady on the screen talking to a microphone. I don't know what that's about, but
Well, we can
We can see
see you.
you.
all right,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
Do you have, would this be in a location that you would have access to? Because again, this is the only information that I have.
What, the docks?
Yeah,
No. But you would have had to file a chapter 91 at some point.
If you can come up with a guesstimate of how long they've been in, it helps us. They've been
try
there
to find
20
out from,
years.
oh yeah, they've been there a while. But again, I just moved into the area about 5 years ago, so they were there when I got there. And I've been the president for the last 2 years, and then my term is up in this year. I'm just trying to see this stair project through. So I'll try to get that information for you, but we'll try to get you that information.
Yeah, your longest termed resident might be able to help you.
Yeah.
Ron, I used to mow lawns there around 1974 and 1975, and that dock was there. Just, or at least a dock of approximate that, scale. I'm not sure when chapter 91 went into effect, but I would be very surprised if this isn't grandfathered.
Thank you.
596 square feet.
Yeah,
Just curious.
I don't know what that relates to.
a big dock.
Yeah, I understand.
All
And
right.
we understand that it's, there's a difference, I think, between a dock that serves a community the way this one does
Right,
and one that serves just a single
an
house.
individual homeowner, yeah.
But it's just curious because we've seen dock proliferations all around
Dock
the lake
expansion.
that
dock-
were not legal or approved or anything else.
I'll be happy to sort of give you an idea of what it looks like now, but if I can share the screen again, which I think I can do. As I understand it, this and this area, and I think there's another dock. So there aren't that many slips out here. So I don't know what this 598 square feet sounds like a lot of space. So I'm not sure.
Well, that's what I was looking at. I was thinking,
Yeah,
wow,
no, I
that's a
know.
lot.
That's a lot of space. I could live in 598 square feet. So I will, and I like the idea of planting shrubs. You know, there are a lot of invasives in here, which probably need to be removed. But we'll proceed. Is there anything else that we should take into account? We'll work on this.
We'll know a lot more when we do a site visit.
Okay, so 10 a.m. on Friday. All right, I'll be down there waiting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It will be posted and stamped by the clerk.
I'm not as
Even
nervous
Roxanne
now.
didn't know you had to do that.
I'm not
Just
as
saying.
nervous now as I was before, so I appreciate it. I've attended a few of these, and I must tell you, it's sort of like, I don't know if I could do this, but thank you
Well,
for
you
being so
did
kind.
fine, thank
You
you.
did good.
All right,
And we'll help you out. Any more questions?
appreciate it.
Best we can.
That's about all we can do for tonight.
All right. Like I said, I don't know. Is anyone else there that wants to talk, would like to speak up about anything that we have or have not covered?
Can I ask who Don and Ann are?
Well, that's
Can I-
John Shaban.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I
He
should have
had his
figured.
face a while ago.
I should have figured that out. Hi,
Yeah,
Don.
that's me, Sally.
All right, we have some articles to sign. And
Yeah, we
Sally's-
have one, the Landau one is ready to go. The other ones will be ready to go tomorrow.
All right, so any members that can, please swing by there. What's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at least. Or
Thursday would be
Friday.
good.
Thursday.
Swing by where?
Sally's,
32 Prospect Hill, the garage. There's a
Okay.
people door. And it's right inside, there's a blue milk crate that has commission paperwork in, so nobody has to come in the house or knock or anything else. You just go in and it's right there, and you can, there's even a pen and you can sign, and we're all safe. And
Do you know, Sally, if these are things I voted on? Are they from the last meeting or are they?
the Landau, no, but the ones that will be there by Thursday, yes.
Okay, thank you.
all right, I have some additional. I have a couple jurisdictionals. I have one for 6 Old Colonial Road.
That's Jay, I think.
Yes, build a pool.
I've had some discussion with Jay about that. He says that there's a man-made pond, it's the Hatch property, is that right?
Yes,
Um,
6 Old Tree Farm, or 6 Old Colonial Road, excuse me.
Doing the contract anyway.
and he says that the pool is 150 feet from the man-made pond. I pointed out that even though it was man-made, it's probably jurisdictional at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's, I'm sure it's been there for a long time. And apparently there's no other resource area, but I find that hard to believe, actually. Not that I'm disbelieving Jay, I just, it seems like there are a lot of streams that come down off that hill.
All right, here's what I'll do. I got a phone number. I don't know who's it for, if it's for Mr. Hatch or who is it? It's probably Mr. Hatch.
I don't think Mr. Hatch is still with us. At least that Mr. Hatch.
Ted Hatch,
Oh, Ted?
that's what the application.
Okay,
applicant's
so
name is.
that's That's a younger hatch.
All right, I
Okay.
have a phone number for John Moritz. Maybe he's a contractor. I don't know.
I would think so.
I will call, get a hold of someone, tell them I want to see stakes in the ground. And
Okay,
if I can get this by Friday, we'll do a drive-through by there too.
okay.
The other one I have. Oh, this one's a good one. I've been there 3 times to this one now. 38 East Street, which is at the end of Rattlesnake Mountain Road and Route 7. And you turn north and it's like the 3rd driveway on the right, maybe. Anyways, I was told that they were going to put a porch in. Every time I went there, there was no stakes, no nothing. So the last time I went there, there's a couple twigs stuck in the ground, some burnt chunks of wood laying in the backyard, and some white spray paint. I want somebody else to go look at this.
We can do it on Friday.
All right. It's a terrible driveway.
Is that the new house?
No, it's the old one. Been for sale. It's just north of the new house.
Okay. Marie, do you know something about that? You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Okay,
Hello?
Okay, there you go.
I just have to get coordinated. Yeah, that house has been down there, 10 years probably. That just changed hands this year. So these are new owners. The people that built it the man came up and stayed occasionally, but they didn't really stay there very much. The new people that bought it seem to be there more. I see the car there quite often. I don't know anything about them, but I think they're going to stay around. It's not going to be just a summer home, I believe.
Okay,
But it is the one on the other side of us.
okay.
It's really the second driveway out,
Just north of you?
just north of us. It's you go around the corner. It's just the other side of the swamp from us,
Okay,
across from Ed Dartford's, or across from the red house there.
okay,
You'll see it. There's only 2 driveways.
all right.
38 East Street.
Yeah.
Oh, and while we're checking things out, I have a RDA for Mr. Minkler, which I'm gonna dig out of for
We
a,
haven't seen it. Or I haven't seen it.
yeah, I know, I got it sitting here, right here. But if we can do a drive-by there, I can point out what's what and.
Is he sent it into DEP?
No,
Because he needs to do that. And it needs to be filed with DEP at the same time.
all right, I'll bring it down town hall. He needs to cross the little stream, they're gonna drill underneath it. And then continue for a water line and an electric line.
And are we convinced that we can do this under an RDA since they're working in a resource area?
I don't know. It's definitely would be notice of intent, or order of conditions at least,
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a notice of intent.
yeah.
Because
But they're not-
they can't go under a stream without conditions and some serious looking at.
Is Marie on that board?
Yeah,
John, you here? You on this now?
John Hart, no.
No, I think it was on.
Because like I said, I got nobody on my screen, so I'm guessing who's here now.
Okay, right now we have you, Jamie, Lisa, Don and Ann, Marie, Patrick, and me. Everybody else went away.
Oh. So that narrows it down.
Yeah. So that's gonna, I mean, we can't permit going under a stream without a notice of intent.
Yes.
All right, we will convey that.
I mean, he can fill it out himself, but he's gonna have to have somebody talk to us about how that's gonna happen.
Understood. Because he's my neighbor, I'm
I
seem to be the go-to
understand.
person to help him out.
I understand. But he's gonna,
Yeah.
who's, the person who's gonna do the work. I mean, I don't think Tim's gonna be out there with the, you know, directional borer going under the stream, so whoever's doing the work can come and talk to us about how that's gonna happen.
It's Clark.
Clark?
What's his name? Danny Clark? Is it?
Well, he must, I mean, he presumably knows what he's doing, so he can tell us what he's doing.
Yeah. All right, so that's in the future. That's not a pressing issue by any means. Anything else?
We had performance standards on the agenda.
Yeah.
All right.
Patrick?
I think that with the, I think it's best, Lisa, I saw the document that you did, which is great. I think it's best for now not to share it because we're not in a public meeting technically. And I did ask Michael for a clarification on whether between meetings it can be shared or if it just needs to be reviewed at a public meeting like in 2 weeks.
I think you can, my understanding is that you can send out something that's informational. Like if you have a list of bullet points that you would like to see, you can do that. You just can't express an opinion.
Lisa, did you edit the state's performance standards at all?
No, I did not.
So it's just the model performance standards
It's
from
the
the state
model.
website?
Right.
Okay,
So
so I
that,
think that you're okay then.
that can be shared without any worries.
Good.
Did we get that in email form?
You did not.
Or-
I just sent it to Jamie and Patrick. And on the computer that I'm working from, I don't actually have it.
Okay.
So I'm okay bringing it to the next meeting.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So I can send it to everyone before then.
Well,
That'd be good.
That'd be
think
even
you-
better, yes.
I would
Then we can review it before the meeting.
Okay.
I would send it as a attachment rather than as a jointly editable document that's online. Because if folks start adding comments or edits, that
Mhm.
might be deliberations. I'm just trying to be careful.
Yeah,
Right.
sure. Okay. I will do that.
Anything else?
We'll see you, everybody, on Friday at 10 o'clock.
We will meet at
Mackinac
Mackinac
Terrace.
Terrace. And if you can't make the, well, Old Tree Farm Road, or
Thought it was Colonial
I did it again, Old Colonial Road,
and 38 East Street.
38 East Street. That's an interesting one. I have opinions on that, but I'm not going to express them.
Okay, well, it will be a duly posted meeting with town clerk stamp and everything. So,
That's nice. And I'm bringing a tape measure.
okay, I've got one of those 100-foot tape measures in my car.
That might be good.
And Sally, don't feel bad. I had the same issue because I had I thought I sent an agenda in on time once and she said no because by her, when it was stamped for her, it wasn't the right time or something. I don't know, but.
Well,
it
I
happened.
had known, I mean, I've known that you have to have the 48-hour,
Mhm.
posting, and knew that. It was the part about the stamp by the clerk that was the problem.
Right.
So. Anyway, live and learn. You learn something every meeting.
There you
Right.
go.
But I think we were all good to you. We didn't complain.
You could complain, wouldn't change anything, but
It's too late to complain.
you can complain all you want. Say, boy, are you an idiot? But
Okay,
I already said that to myself a lot, just saying.
we all have our days.
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn.
that sounds like a good idea.
I second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Good night, all.
Good night. We'll see.